Hey there, and welcome to the Coaching Floors podcast. This is Dr. Jen, and each week we'll be doing interviews to inform our listeners about techniques to help children with complex communication needs discover their voice with AAC. Stay tuned. Hey there, we have been talking about aided input and how using the child's device to model language actually shows them that there's power in their AAC system. Now, this also includes when a child is upset. We have to help them see that there is language and how they can use their systems to communicate and get what they need or want. So let's get started. When programming vocab, don't forget to teach the children to complain. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about because when I do, I often see people in the audience start to cringe. Our 2-year-olds learn really quickly how to tell us no, but when we select vocabulary for our children with AAC devices, we often forget to give them vocabulary to protest. Protesting for them may be essential. It could be the key to alleviating temper tantrums and aggressive, defiant behaviors that we see in our students, oftentimes without fluent communication. So let's face it. Their behavior is communicating something. Now let's give them the words to communicate it. So let's get started from the beginning. Meet with the team and decide what words need to be programmed so the child can protest. Then think about different opportunities and ways you want to model those key words to negate. Say what I don't want to. Think about times that you could model the word no. Maybe you're in the kitchen and you don't want them to touch that hot pan. You could say, no, don't touch that, and push the word no on their device. Or you could press the word stop when they're going to leave the classroom without waiting for you, or set up a situation where an adult models, I'm mad, when you take their toy away. Or it could even be as simple as reading stories and pointing out the different emotions the characters have. Are they sad or mad? And pressing those buttons on their device as you ask them about how the child in the story is feeling or the characters in the story are feeling. Giving the child words to identify their emotions are key. Now, you may think we're going to create a monster, but this is how we naturally teach our 2-year-olds. We're often giving them the command no, and then they start yelling it back at us. I know it is not fun, but it creates learning opportunities. We get to redirect their behavior and words, and they get to learn to self-regulate. So think, for your child who needs AAC to communicate, when they are beginning to tell you no using their device, what would you do for a typically developing child? Would they go to timeout? Would you sit and talk with them about why they're mad? Would you help with some calming strategies like taking a deep breath or going for a walk? Let's take this one step further. If the child is not yet using their device to say that they are mad or no, and they are having a temper tantrum instead, talk with your team about how that's going to look. Oftentimes when they are having a fit, their communication systems are nowhere nearby, so grab it. This is the time they need to communicate the most, and it's a great learning opportunity. Model your words on their device. Say, are you mad? And press the word mad. Do you want me to go? Press the word go, and then leave. Go sit and monitor them from a few feet away. When they finally do get up and come to you, or when they're calm enough for you to go back to them, then use their device to talk about why they were mad or how they were feeling. You didn't want to stop the song? I just had this happen with my 3-year-old. He was mad about nap time, did not want to take a nap. And I said, oh, buddy, are you mad? And he said, yeah. And then he asked for a hug. So this is something that I have modeled for him over and over. And I had modeled previously identifying his emotion, mad, and then asking him, do you want to hug or do you want to rock? So we can use their device to do the same thing. You can ask them, do you want to hug? Do you want to rock? And then eventually, hopefully they will start identifying their own emotion and asking for those things that help them to self-regulate and calm down. Now, let's just say that this child, when they throw a fit, they throw objects and they rip things up. You may not want to give them a $1,000 speech generating device or an elaborate communication book. Instead, talk with your team and decide if it would be better to give them a picture board on cardstock, something that's easy to print off multiple times and you won't get upset if it's ruined. So let's recap. A child's behavior is communication, and if we want them to move from tantrums, we need to give them words. To do this, we need to model negation and give them the words when they are upset. Then, use the communication device after to talk more about what happened. Not much can happen during the fit. You might be able to model one or two things and then back up. But really, the modeling we provide before the fit and after is where the key learning takes place. Now remember, our typically developing children go through the terrible 2s and 3s, and the child's behavior of throwing a fit has been working for them. So this is going to take time, so hang in there. The end is worth it. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you could, subscribe to the podcast so you get notified when new episodes are released, and check out Coaching Flores on Facebook and coachingflores.com for downloads. I hope you heard something that inspires you. I'll see you next week.